Hi, I'm Mary Jean Murphy from My Favorite Quilt Store, and I am going to talk to you today about 1/4 inch seam allowance. Every quilter, every pattern, everyone needs to learn how to get a very precise 1/4 inch seam allowance. Why? Well, if you have a block that has a lot of seams and your seam allowance is a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, your block is going to come out larger or smaller than you need it. So finding that 1/4 inch, the precise 1/4 inch is really quite easy, and I want you to be successful. So I'm going to give you a couple little tips on how to find it, and hopefully you'll enjoy it and find some success with it. So the seam allowance I'm talking about is from your thread over to the edge of your block. It's the seam allowance where you sew your two blocks together. And lots of times you need to find a good seam allowance because you have points that are intersecting and you want those points to be sharp. Now, I'm going to tell you, we all have a quilt where you cut off the points. I do. I think everyone who has ever sewn has found that every once in a while they cut off the points, and it's okay. But maybe this will make you a little bit more successful and you'll enjoy it. The key, and one of the things that I use all the time, is an index card. All of these lines are exactly 1/4 inch apart. And I learned this trick when I was a very young quilter. I think I started quilting when I was in my 30s, and I have kept a index card next to my sewing machine, and I use it before I start any project. So I'm going to show you how I use it. You want to come over here to the sewing machine mat, and maybe they can see a little bit closer up. So what I'm going to do is actually put my put my presser foot down with the one of the lines on the index card lined up with the needle. And let me drop the needle just up. Oh, it's not quite lined up. So let me drop the needle exactly where it is. Nope, I'm gonna line it up just a wee bit more. Come on. There we go. I think that looks like it's dropped right on the needle. Now, the only thing you really have to notice is this point is, where is the line directly to the right of the needle hitting your presser foot? Now, all of us or most of us have a 1/4 inch foot. It's kind of a quilting staple. If it is exactly 1/4 inch, you should be riding this blue line right to the edge of your 1/4 inch foot. Let's see how I do. I'm going to go ahead and just hit the gas, and I'm sewing directly on the line, and I can see that my 1/4 inch foot is absolutely perfect. And that's how easy it is to make sure that you are finding your 1/4 inch seam. One of the other tricks, and if you don't have an index card around, I can't get that cut. There we go. One of the other tricks is, this is a little giveaway somebody gave me, but you can do this with any ruler, is take a ruler that has a 1/4 inch line and place your needle, just lower it very gently. You don't want to break the needle. Just place the needle directly on the 1/4 inch line on your ruler, and it'll hold in place. Get it lined up so that it is at a nice straight path underneath of your needle and along your presser foot, and take some handy dandy tape. I prefer using painter's tape, but I didn't have any, so I'm going to just go ahead and use masking tape, and I'm going to just put that right along that ruler and press it down. Now, sometimes what you have to do is move your needle over just a little bit so that the masking tape isn't interfering with your feed dogs, but mine was okay. So I'm going to lift the needle, take away, and I have a nice guide to how I want to feed my fabric right underneath my needle. So like I said, 1/4 inch is very, very, very important. you find a lot of success when you have a good 1/4 inch. I'm Mary G. Murphy from My Favorite Quilt Store. I hope this was helpful.